How can you awaken others? People always ask me, Leonard, how can I awaken my friend? He doesn't listen to anything I have to say. This and many more questions will be answered on this episode of Hollywood Frequency. Stay tuned. How can you awaken others? A very, very important question. You're sitting there, you're talking with your friend, your family member, you're telling them about, don't take this, man, don't eat this. You need to be doing meditation every day. Don't listen to the news, it's negative. They don't listen. They don't listen. They don't want to hear it. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with that? Well, the answer may not be exactly what you think. We can't force anyone to turn off the TV and stop watching the news. We can't force anyone to act a certain way, to come from love and not anger. And we can't do these things. We have to do something else, right? How can we get them to change? Well, the answer is simple. Change yourself. Well, what does that mean? Be a living example. You want to see change in others? Then you'll do the change onto yourself. So what does it mean to be a living example? It means to be the person that you want others to be by leading as example yourself. For example, Gandhi. Gandhi was able to inspire so much change without using violence. How did he do it? He led by example. He didn't force his belief system upon anyone else. People saw that it was affecting change and they followed his footsteps. So there's different things that we can do to show others that they can change their behavior by watching what you do in your daily life. You're living a great life, you're vibrating on a high frequency, you're attracting amazing things into your life. Others may ask, well, how can I have that life too? Well, now that you're asking, I can tell you what I'm doing. I do yoga, I do meditation, I eat right, I exercise, I focus on the positives, I wake up every day and say affirmations. These are all things I do to live a great life. Others don't do those steps. You can't force them to do it, but if they see you doing it and see you living a good life, then they may take that step as well. So I'll tell you an interesting story. I'm driving my car down a residential area, and someone shoots out of their driveway, comes right in front of me and stops. I'm like, are you serious? And then on top of it, he slams on the brakes, stays there. Obviously something's going on. So I slowly go around him and I roll down the window and I'm like, hey, I roll down the window to see what's going on. Before I even have a chance to say anything, he starts cussing at me and screaming profanities at me. Now in that moment I had a choice. I had a choice to give him what he wanted, which was anger back and to match his vibration, or I had an option to come from love, which many people would not do because it's hard in those moments. I know it's hard, but I did. I chose to come from love, and I rolled down the window and I said, I send you love. And he screamed a couple more profanities at me as well, and I said, hey man, I send you love, lots of love. And he smiled. There was a small smile at the end, and I drove off. See, that is different than he's probably ever experienced in those kind of moments. It makes him think differently. Neutralize the situation, send a high vibration, be the person that others aren't in a positive manner so that they can make a change to do the same thing. Now, a friend in the car was blown away by my behavior. Maybe next time he's in a situation like that, he'll come from love. So these are things that we can do. Another thing we can do is we can see the Creator in all things. When you see the Creator in all things, you treat all things differently. And others are watching you do that. And if they're watching you do that, then you can learn from your example. So, I look at it like my son, who's a sponge, and watches everything I say, watches everything I do. He watches my energy. He can notice if I'm anxious or any of that stuff, and he'll behave, almost copy me to the T for what I just did a few minutes ago. So what kind of example am I being for my son? Imagine the world is like that. Imagine the world is your son, or the world is you, because you are one with everything. And if that's the case, how are you treating everything? Be the example that you want others to follow. Come from abundance, not lack. Abundance of love, abundance of joy, abundance of safety, abundance of protection, abundance of success, abundance of harmony, abundance of prosperity. Live in that vibration, and others will be gravitated to you and will seek out how you're able to do it. And you can explain to them the things that you do to be a living example. There's a lot to say about this, but you know deep down inside what I mean. To be a living example means to operate as your best self. And look, there's moments where you're human and you may not, but you work towards it every day. And by being a living example, others can follow in your footsteps and make changes that are positive for themselves as well. Eat right, live right, love right. See the Creator in you in all things. Come from abundance and not lack. Bringers of the Dawn, which is a fantastic book, and we have lots of videos from Bringers of the Dawn on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe as well as watch them and learn from them. Has a few different quotes that I want to review with you. One is, it says that you allow the underlying purpose of light to move through your vehicle and become a living example of what others can do. This high vibration that we intend to teach all of you, we want you to understand that there's no limitation to. There's no limitation for the entire planet. Each person on the whole planet, or the whole planet, can operate in cooperation and a uniqueness of being. Whatever gifts of spirit and materiality come your way, don't think to yourself, oh, I'm so lucky. Instead, understand that you're using your vibration and the divine principles to attract these things into your life. And that others can do the same thing. And instead of just saying you're lucky, look how you can show others through your example that they can do the same thing. So, how do you wake up your friend, your neighbor, etc.? By waking yourself up and being a living example. I'm going to close this video with a powerful affirmation from Bringers of the Dawn. I'll say it slowly so that you can say it with me. I want spirit to assist me in a greater capacity. I want my body to regenerate itself. I want to emanate health. I'm willing to give up difficulty so that I can be a living example of what humanity can be. That's the end of the affirmation. And it's this line of thinking and commanding the universe from your being and calling out what you want with clarity that brings acceleration to you. So be a living example. Thank you for watching Hollywood Frequency. Please subscribe and share. Sending you love and light and wishing you all the best. Bye for now.